Hi, Kate Allure again, and I'm coming to you today from my front yard, and I'm excited to answer some of your Ask Me Anything questions. So, I grew up in a small beach town on Lake Michigan, and when I wrote Laying Pipe, the story that inspired Chapter's Blue Collar Daddy, I set it in that town. It was really fun to get to revisit my old hometown, at least virtually. Sadly, I haven't been back for about 20 years, but I can tell you that my friends there say the town is pretty much the same. And the house I set it in was built in 1927, and that's where I grew up, and I set the story there. And the library/community center was really the focal point of the town, and I spent many happy hours as a child reading in that library. And the great thing about today, though, is I could do all this online research as I was looking up this town, and also see pictures of the house I grew up in. So it was very special. I love strong men who work with their hands. In Chapter's Blue Collar Daddy, well, they wrote him just like I imagined him. Someone who is dominant with a woman, but kind and caring, willing to stand up for somebody, even for a stranger. And even though I'll admit that I love reading them, I'm kind of a tad bit tired of all those billionaire stories where these guys that don't seem to do anything. Whereas Jack is a real person and he works with his hands. He's always helping people out every day, and he's super sexy too. And who wouldn't like a super sexy plumber working on your pipes? I've always written stories in my head. And even as a small child, I had this long school bus ride home, and I would make up stories in my head to keep from being bored. Now, of course, today, we all have stories constantly available in our phone, but you have to put that aside. And so when I need inspiration, I just let my mind wander and float, and I fantasize ideas in my head. This is really great to do if you're doing something repetitive, like walking, folding laundry, swimming laps, and you just have to persevere and push the outside world away. It's really great at bedtime, too. Don't think about the things you didn't get done during the day. Don't think about the things you need to do tomorrow. Just let your mind wander. Now, it's up to you to decide how you want to do it. Do you want to do it from the character's point of view? Is there a character that you have in your head and you want to build a story out of that? Or is it a fantastical situation that's happening and you build a story around that? And of course, for me, as an erotic romance author, I have built stories just out of a single idea for a bizarre sex scene. Not bizarre, but, crazy funny. And so one thing I would say is make sure you have a pen and paper by your bedside so that you can just quickly write it down, and then in the morning you'll remember it. And as for Blue Collar Daddy, it started because I was thinking, like, what could a crazy funny thing could a plumber do with his tools? And the story just came out of that. Can't say for certain when my next stories will be published, kind of out of my control. But I will tell you, I have written, and they're almost completely done, 2 sequels to Seduced. Chapter's already released Seduced as a game, so hopefully you'll see them again. And the cool thing about Seduced is it's set in a super sexy London sex club. And so you get to explore London and this naughty club. And so if you haven't yet played Seduced, I hope you'll check it out. Well, that's all for today. On behalf of Chapters and myself, I want to thank you for playing Blue Collar Daddy. And once again, I'm Kate Allure, signing off.